Ooh. Earl Grey Moonlight goes down just like Kentucky Straight Bourbon. But today we are in the Color Real Media studio, and I have my new book, Slice of Life, here, ready to recite about 11 poems for you guys today. June 10th always has a special meaning to my heart. My grandmother died 2 years ago today, so I wanted to make the most out of the time that I do have on Earth, especially definitely to make her proud, even though I don't think she would agree with a lot of the art that I pursue. But regardless, I know she'd just be happy that I've been staying sober and nice to myself. But I did want to start randomly. Might seem out of character, but there was an important Bible verse that she always liked in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1 through 8. To everything there is a season, and a time and every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace. That is very true. There's certainly a season of life for everything under the sun. This tea is definitely keeping me alive today. But I'm going to read out my favorites that have definitely stuck with me in the past. A few of these, some of you folks recommended me to read too. I'm going to start off with experimental design. Experimental design, living off company time, cooking meat on a campfire skillet, baking a clay idol under the flames of dried cedar wood, set ablaze by a single flick of a cigarette lighter. Sagebrush kindles a quick flame, separating water from a boiling, screaming log. Crackling embers echo inexhaustible singing, monks in unison chanting over the death of a white elephant. Moss-covered boulders are hidden sages in deep contemplation. There are no words spoken that can complete annihilation. Kindle a healing flame, spreading out all desire, as pine cones crack under the duress, and a forest heals from the ashes. The maiden carries a dagger under her thrifted goodwill dress as cicadas cry in agony and lust, emerging from a concrete tomb, fucking and flailing outside a drive-through Checkers parking lot. Orgies in mid-flight end with a flickering candle. Crows and sparrows feast on thousands of consummated lovers lying lifeless on the ground. Experimental design, living on company time. The steak was cooked medium rare. The clay dog comes to life once again. The pine saplings fill the forest floor. The firewood is dry for winter. The monks find Buddha nature. The mountainside boulders became Taoist, and the healing spell of annihilation was laughter this whole time. I'm definitely going to need a cigarette for that one. Okay, that's for you hiding right in front of Bodhidharma. The second one is there a veil? The moon has passed and the sun has set, Yet the stars sprinkle light between that curious space between day and night. Your eyes readjust to the same four walls. Your phone alarm goes off again for another day of work. How many days has it been since you remembered your dreams? Caught in the motions of life, you find sobriety amongst the old chaos. Everything is still out of place. The driving force behind the journey is hidden behind a veil. Is there a veil? Is all of this wandering towards goals and living a facade, covering a vast expanse of even more broken glass, abandoned buildings, and sunken-in masses of burnout stars? Beauty and excitement must then be a candle being lit by a match, the dripping wax, a testament of time slipping. It's a silent endeavor. Any light radiating from this candle must be meaningful. With this light, darkness vanishes, revealing wild beasts and lovers with a blurred line between the two shape-shifting creatures of nightfall. I only know what needs to be done. The journey is long and perilous. The candle was blown out by a gust of valley thunderstorm winds. Can we be a judge of character when the lights go off, or when a green-lidded nymph says, "I love you"? Sleep rings behind old hazel eyeballs, stressed out from seizing the day with minimal payoff. Tomorrow's sunshine brings 10,000 daffodils back from their restless sleep. Late-night stomach growling, an old black cat howling, a black box fan buzzing. Nothing is left undone for the old forgotten sages. They sleep on ripe, tall grass and forgot their own ass at home when they became bodhisattvas. All right, this one's for my brother. Looking for Buddha in all the wrong places. We wander along the edges of samsara, looking for Buddha in all the wrong places. Look at the frozen February ground, unthawing to upkeep the promise of eternal golden daffodils. Thousands of birds flock back to the old green valley once again. Vultures perch on dead sycamore trees, overlooking ancient, flowering, flowing rivers. Running south instead of north, these moments are the death strokes of winter. Sad blue mountains await the first healing rain of spring. Dreams of a sunflower surviving winter have come true. Twisting and turning upon ye old windowsill, it still found the sun through the snow and rain. No amount of mist and fog could ever take away the life of a sunflower thriving in a clay pot. It goes to show how much one really needs to live. A little bit of sunshine, healing spring water, and a lover that will never perish or say goodbye. The Tathagata spoke emerald words, and everything at the end of the day makes sense. Everything is okay when we mean it to be. There isn't much we can do aside from what we can do. Everything else is hearsay and imaginary. Has been a pretty long morning, so forgive me. This one's very close to my heart. The one poem that made me subtitle the book in hiragana. This poem's called Yagi Tochi Sanahana, or A Goat and a Flower. You're in my heart, the same as you were yesterday, when we filled those empty nights with our laughter, as darkness fell and no birds sang. We kept each other company along the way, in a passenger car on a somber train, traveling between life and death, here and nowhere, passing the time in a world that made no sense, and today still hardly does. But in the shade of yesterday's meeting, our seeds still grew, a field of wild yellow daisies, and a wild goat still roams in love with a gentle flower. Making sure I'm not skipping anything important like last time. Okay. This one's called Under Rolling Hills. Poetry is the only thing that makes sense through these years passing by, as raindrops filling what's left of the green river. My sunshine lives on a mountain far away, and she speaks of burying her soul prematurely under rolling hills. Nothing will ever stop our idyllic dreams floating into the future. A cloud bursts open, and the stars sway in perpetual motion. We wandered there together. You gave me a shadow and a longing dream of a clay idol becoming a breathing man. For a long time, through grief and illusionary darkness, the way seemed lost, yet it never disappeared, when our mortal clinging finally knew it was time to let go of that spinning wheel. You gave me love under an emerald moon, when the way was somewhere deep in the forest. We wandered there together as friends and lovers, who still needed to find the answers for everything, buried deep under layers of flesh and our beating earthly hearts. You called me darling and gave me a shadow and a longing dream of an empty wooden bowl becoming a flying bluebird. All right, this one is called Climb That Goddamn Mountain. You knew me and I knew you, before we were born and well after our lights ascend to the Pure Lands. Through Death Mountain, we will know each other, therefore, eternally. It's not empty-handed romanticism, if you give and nothing seems to return. All blessings and curses stem from you. All flowers bloom, all flowers wilt, according to their nature, will transform out of death's design. The wheel will stop spinning when you stop running and climb that goddamn mountain. Yeah, I wrote this one in the Knotty Pine. I don't think there was a hangover involved this time around. Here's for a brother. This one's called Right Here in It. You don't grow out of the weird grows into you. I've seen many people come and go in this life. Some kill themselves way too early in the kabuki theater through overdoses, ropes, guns, and heartbreak over things they just couldn't fix. To be alive at this moment and eat this immaculate down-home cheeseburger with the bar jukebox playing Fat Bottom Girls is a miracle in of itself. What do we run from if we're right here in it? All right, this one is Dennis Chair Meditations. All the horrid parts of your life are generally experienced alone, and curiously, our minds sink in and out of consciousness before the church bells ring. I can only imagine how life used to be and what it could have been if it all went down differently. Death changes a man forever, losing your lover by a red moon, having 12 teeth ripped out of your mouth, healing isolated wounds where no one told you, I'm sorry. Carry that weight until you find a good spot to bury it deep. Someone will find your karma if you don't take care of it today. And this one's called Blue Ridge Bodhidharma Thoughts. You see it from the outside and never from the inside of another's eyes. Barebones Zen Buddha's poetry reiterates the fact that we split off reality individually and see the whole separately, yet all is one. A river going downhill, cherry blossoms, early spring falling, a mother giving birth, a hermit tending the needs of others, a father doing what he can. We live in a competitive state, thinking we knew more than the old gods or poets, smashing holy books before we were old enough to know what they were really talking about. I was told to kill Buddha if I ever found him by my brother that OD'd with a needle in his arm. I haven't learned much in 27 years outside of giving it all away in love and charity, to drink in moderation, and do what we say no matter the time of day, or no matter how many years pass away under green fields that hold dreams, beneath daffodil bulbs and sunflower seeds. We're here today, so just keep on living. The last one I'm going to share is for Sierra, because I know she appreciated this. And she also painted this beautiful cover, and I'm forever grateful for her and her entire existence. There's not a lot of words I can say for my own appreciation for that woman, but she is an immaculate artist. And I hope to collaborate with a lot more people in the upcoming future. All women are flowers under moonlight. It's not for you to understand why things are the way they are. It simply is, with and without you, moving along, a grassy floating sphere, stationed between 6 separate worlds. I've only ever known hungry, animalistic women who can never stay in one place too long, as Maenads on the bloody hunt, nymphs who live off myths, and flowers that only bloom once in a lifetime. What a blessing it always is and was to see their petals shine under moonlight. Well, I'm gonna stop there, and I hope you guys check it out soon. I always feel like an asshole self-promoting, but I did put a lot of love into this last poetry book, and I believe it to be the best so far. Not trying to toot my own horn. But I appreciate everybody that's supported me this far, and I plan on writing until the day that I die. So there is one more poetry collection coming out by the end of the year, and one novel right after that. So I'm gonna pour you all a drink right here. And I hope to see you in the future. 93. That's all I need.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Oh
Good
yeah.
job.